Hey guys, it's Kate, it's Uncat Vintage, and today we are at the Small Salvation Army in Langford, BC. First thing I found in the door was this little figurine that reminded me of pieces made by an artist named Louise Auger. She made these sort of slab kind of hand molded figurines of women in dresses. They were all faceless. It looks very much like that, so I was surprised to see a Japan mark on the bottom of this particular figurine. The other ones can actually resell for a bit of money. I had actually bought a collection of them at one point and sold them on Etsy. Got in the range of $70 to $100 for each one. These are just some artist sort of hobbyist made ceramic cat napkin rings. They were awfully cute, even with the sort of possessed green eyes. And this piece, I knew pretty much instantly that it was probably made in Germany. That reticulated edge, the style dish, you can see there it is, in fact, made in Germany. That's a really common style. I've seen those. I have sold them a few times, but I don't really pick them up anymore. It was a pretty crystal, like a chiller bucket, like a wine chiller, champagne chiller, if you're fancy enough to be drinking champagne. Certainly not me. And this was just a little chunk of amethyst. It sort of took me back a little bit because where I lived in Thunder Bay, there was a huge like amethyst mine not far away. And I remember going there as a kid and collecting amethyst. And these are another childhood memory. I'm sure I'm not the only one growing up in the like 80s, 90s that had those Mikasa cherry bowls. Couldn't really figure out who a maker would be on these. They were made in the USA, 24% lead crystal. Really nice kind of style to them, just sort of sleek. Another crystal dish here. And then this stack was a pretty pattern. This is Purbeck pottery, made in England. Some of their stuff resells. I couldn't find this particular pattern, but I thought it was so pretty. This piece here was fabulous, and I do regret not getting this. I have a black cat. I've only mentioned it 100 times, but this is by Sharon Peterkin. She's an Australian artist. Prolific. She's been working for years. She still is. Has a website. If you care to visit it, you can just Google her name. And she went through a period where she made all these really cool decorative tiles. And yeah, all sorts of different patterns. They were very cool. She has a very distinctive style. And then this was an education for me. I had no idea what this was, but they are safety stirrups. So that, I guess, when you're riding a horse and you fall, that little band there is designed to release so that your foot doesn't get caught in the stirrup. So every day at the thrift store is an education for all of us. Of course, I have to check out the little Ikebana vase. That one was priced at $8.99. And this was pretty. It was super grimy though, and it was a little dinged up from what I could tell through the grime. It was only priced at $2.99. This dish, another one that I was okay not picking this up. It was priced at $8.99. It's a Cats by Nina. The vases that she makes, and she makes all sorts of different decorative housewares, there is some strong collectability to them. A lot of people love her stuff. I do. But $8.99, that particular dish, that's the large size, doesn't resell for a lot. There's one listed right now for like $29. That was an interesting vase. It was kind of like a pottery and with that silver overlay. And then this is another cute little piece of lacquerware. This one only 99 cents. Super grimy, but from what I could tell, it didn't look like it had a lot of dings or scratches to it. So that was cool. That was a fun little find. And then this piece, I knew what it was. I figured what the mark was going to be. It's a Wade PM England. I'm not entirely sure what the PM stands for, but most of the pieces by Wade that I see with that mark are pubware. So things like ashtrays and like the water jugs that you would have seen in like an English pub. Some of the pieces definitely can resell. That one was priced $8.99 or $9.99. So I felt that was a bit high for me. Same with this cute little made in Italy, made in Florence ashtray. It's just a transferware piece. $4.99 was a bit steep. And this guy was adorable. I was choked to see the chip right away. Another piece by Wade. It's the Irish porcelain. So if you see something marked Irish porcelain like that, don't be confused. It actually is a piece by Wade. You can do more research into the marks, but. And this was cool. This is a piece of Aboriginal Australian art. I probably could have picked that up. It was priced at $3.99. I have sold quite a few pieces of Aboriginal art before. And I do think there was probably more room there than I was thinking in the moment. Another one of these awesome ugly face mugs. This one is probably a shaving mug with the little loop on the side for your shaving brush. And this one's actually Mahone made stoneware. This is a more recognized sort of manufacturer in the ugly face mug world. It was priced at $10 though, and I did end up using a coupon this day, but I don't know, I still felt, $8 after the 20% off was maybe a little high for my reselling purposes. Now this plate, I just thought it was so pretty. I've never seen this pattern before. It's by Maxwell and Williams, which is an Australian company actually. They sell all over the world, but I was surprised the resale value wasn't a little higher on that piece. It was maybe a $15 to $20 little like tidbit sandwich tray. But really striking, really just like such a vibrant, colorful pattern. It was gorgeous. A vintage classic, the Anchor Hawking Milano green. They had all sorts of different, shapes and styles of service in that class. And that little pottery dish was by a Canadian potter called Hillborn Pottery. They're still in business today, and they make some really lovely pieces. Now the optics on this caught my eye. It was super dirty, and I was shocked as all you know what to see that it was actually made in Italy. Like, looking at it in the store, it looked terrible. I don't know how else to say it. It didn't look good or that nice, but I saw the made in Italy, and at this point I'm realizing, you know what, I'm probably going to use a coupon. So $6.99 becomes a little bit cheaper. I don't know. I never find Italian glass like that, not anything that's marked. So I was honestly a little excited, even though in the moment it looked pretty awful. But spoiler alert, it did wash up beautifully. It's actually a really lovely vase. It's super shiny when the light hits it. The wooden frog, you run it across the wood rod across his back, and he makes like a croaking noise. That's Thomas Porcelain, made in Germany. I have actually sold some of their pieces, but usually the stuff by them that sells best is the things with more like vibrant patterns. And then this pretty teacup was actually marked Nippon. Had the leaf mark on it, which I know is a Nippon mark. The saucer had a chip, so it was going to be a no-go. The porcelain felt right, but I've been really hesitant because I've been learning a lot more about the reproduction Nippon stuff and how good some of the marks are and how much better they've gotten in replicating the fine porcelain. So I'm a little more hesitant with Nippon stuff now because I don't think it's as clear cut as some of us maybe think or once thought. This thing was super cool, like a napkin, or could use it as a letter holder, like desk organizer. I'm not sure what about it I loved so much. I think it was just the really like detailed painting on it. And here is an Anchor Hawking piece, another Anchor Hawking piece actually. This is the Candle Glow pattern. It's a little loaf pan. That was priced at $6.99. Not a lot of room there for resale. The prices are all over the place, but they really don't resell for much. And that little swung vase there was, I don't think it was anything special, and plus it had a huge chip on it. One of those like finger cutter ones. Of course, have to check out the mugs. Always with the mugs. Mug life. Now these soup and cracker mugs, priced at $2.99 each. I don't know. I didn't pick them up. I wasn't really feeling that there would be a ton of resale value on them, but then when I actually looked up recent sold comps, I was surprised to see individual mugs selling for about $25. But then other people had pairs listed for the same price, $30. So I did leave them. I'm confident in that choice, but yeah, it did make me take some pause after I left. And that British Museum mug, I told myself I'd probably sell it. I might end up keeping it though. I visited the British Museum when I was in London years ago, so it was a little bit of a memento for me, I think. Those are cute little wedding themed sort of like plates. I guess you could use them for anything. I was thinking with wedding season coming up, but not a huge resale value on those, I don't think. And here's another Anchor Hawking. These are like the little French onion little soup bowls in the meadow green. Those were priced at $5.99 each though. Then checking out these, again, more sort of like soup mug bowls. These were priced at 99 cents. They had a total 90s vibe to them, but like a 1950s sort of pattern. I would have grabbed them because they were pretty cheap, but the one mug, the transferware, had a lot of like weird chunks missing out of it. So I did end up passing on those ones, but I'm sure they got snapped up because they were pretty fun. And then the last thing I checked out, something that I do usually check but don't often film myself checking, is the art. I try not to buy a ton of it. I don't really have the storage space for art, but I really loved these sort of souvenir, those were hand painted like silk panels. Then these guys, anyone that's been looking for vintage for long enough has seen those copper embossed pieces. There was a pretty floral print there. There's another one of the copper embossed. And someone's framed it up in like a big plank of wood. They were very cool. That was like an embroidered Asian scene. Those were some cool little canvases there, priced at $7.99 each. But that is where we are going to wrap up today. So hopefully stay tuned for the haul. It's not a huge one, but hope you enjoy.